Welcome, everybody. How's everyone doing? I uh, I must confess, that's what today. That's what the first part of this video is about. Is I must confess that as a fish keeper, I have killed probably hundreds of fish, maybe even thousands if you count fry. Uh, and yeah, it's not something I'm necessarily remorseful about. And it's an aspect of the hobby that I don't think gets talked about a lot. And it's a hard one because of course none of us are trying to kill our fish, to intentionally harm them. But I do think when you are, especially if you're in the part of your hobby where you're trying to raise fish, like for instance licorice gouramis, where need to get the pH down to like 3.0, or I need to get, or more like 4.5 or so, um, or if you need to get hard water for live bears. For instance, if you go out and catch native fish and you're trying to bring them in, well, that's actually a very, very tricky process. There are many fish that we do not collect in the hobby sheerly or merely because they die when you pull them, the second you pull them out of the water. When we had Ivan Mikoji on the stream speaking about his years and years of living in the Orinoco and Argentina, uh, or Venezuela rather, sorry guys. Uh, he mentioned that there are some species that literally you pick them up and the second you bring them out of water, they turn over, twitch, and that's it. They take a gasp, and that's all they wrote. Um, and it's hard to know which fish are going to do well and which ones aren't, especially if you're keeping something like a cold water fish or something that you get out of a river like a shiner. I have to admit, I don't always show it on the channel. I try to show it when it happens in my fish room, but there have been many times when I've gone fish collecting and it's 95 degrees in Florida or Texas or somewhere, and I have a catch container, and simply the uh, catch container being 80 degrees, even if it's in the shade, compared to a creek that's maybe 75 degrees, an 85-degree container of still water that's not oxygenated well enough, just even for pictures, even if you're going to put them right back. I've seen that kill fish, and of course I feel bad about it. And then you post a picture and somebody will say, why do you have that fish in your hand? Like, or why is that fish on land so long in your video? Like, you had it in the net for 30 seconds or a minute. Like, you're torturing that fish. And I would counter that sometimes by not putting it into, say, a plastic bag with unoxygenated water. I mean, you can have an air stone, you can have an air stone with you, and oftentimes that's what I do. And sometimes that still doesn't help. Sometimes it's something else. So I just wanted to address that. A lot of people write me saying that, you know what, I found out that, I got some neon tetras from, uh, I got some neon tetras or cardinal tetras from Petco or PetSmart, and got them home, and I noticed some white spots on one. Well, I took that one out and I set it aside. Didn't quarantine them. Like, I've read stories like this all the time. And then all my fish had ick. And then I didn't know what to do, so I put in ICX or methylene blue or whatever it may be. Um, and they all died or whatever. It didn't stop it, or it was actually a bacterial infection and it killed them all. And it's these experiences that actually make us grow as aquarists, if you have a conscience. Now, if you have no conscience and you don't care about these fish in the least, then maybe it doesn't even make an impact, and then maybe you shouldn't be taking care of creatures if you don't care at all for them in a at least surface way. But I mean, the power outages I've had here, the heat wave when Seattle had no air conditioning. I mean, almost no one does. Now people are starting to because of the last few years specifically. But what do you do when it's 115 degrees Fahrenheit, 43 Celsius outside or whatever, and you don't have air conditioning or climate control, and your house is actually hotter than that? Well, you can put ice bottled water and ice in your tanks. And same within the winter. What happens when the power goes out if you don't have a generator? Well, now I have a little oil heater thing um, that I can turn on, and it'll hold power after the initial usage for like 6 to 10 hours. But uh, what do you do if it's 3 days with the power out? Especially for those of you who live in hurricane or tornado or, stormy regions, or perhaps even those of you who live in countries where the power is not stable. There's a lot of parts of the world where they only have power for certain parts of the day and certain times a year, especially in drought regions and things. Like there's not enough water to run all the turbines in a dam, for instance. And they section off what part of town gets electricity at what time. So there's a whole lot of reasons, but anybody who's keeping fish and telling you that they don't have any fish dying, one, they may be a good fish keeper in the sense that they've got one way of keeping fish and they've got it dialed in. But one, they're not buying a lot of fish. They're not going through a lot of species. I can guarantee you that. They're not trying new things very often. And the sad part about trying new things is that sometimes you're wrong, or sometimes you get bad advice, or sometimes you lose fish. And it's a very fine line, because in this hobby, we want to be compassionate. We want to love the creatures we care for, but we can't hold them to a degree like some animal rights groups where they say they shouldn't ever be in a tank. That's animal c word. Can't even say that word without it pulling down the stream usually. So I feel like a lot of the big YouTube channels have really been doing a disservice lately. A lot of the channels that used to show their failures along with their successes have not been showing the true reality of what happens, or the true reality of, for instance, if they're breeding flower horns, or they're breeding some sort of fancy guppy and they're feeding them to other fish, or whatever it may be that's going on. Somebody else wrote me recently and said, it's actually really mean to to keep your fish in a tank that's so planted that the fish can't swim much. This picture right here, that's animal C word. And the funny part is that was the week I came back from Florida, and they spawned in that tiny little space. That's what made them feel secure, and like they wouldn't have any predators around, even though it's a community tank, and they spawned right on the glass. So yeah, anyways, that's the rant I wanted to get out of the way, guys. Is don't feel bad when you kill fish. Obviously, you don't want to try to. You want to try your best. You want to do your research ahead of time. You want to get fish that you can care for. But I must admit that I actually will put down a fish if it's very bad off. I have gotten to the point in my hobby where I'm confident enough in my ability to know when a fish is past gone. And, you know, I know when, for instance, a pleco has a bacterial infection and it has just lesions all over it and its belly sunken, that it's not going to come back. I'm going to have to either watch it suffer for 2 or 3 more weeks and possibly spread the illness or parasites that it may have, uh, or you could put clove oil on them and put them into the freezer. And there's lots of arguments over what's the most humane way to dispatch of a very sick fish or a fish that is no longer going to make it. So I've come to the conclusion that I think the most humane thing to do is to give it some sort of a sedative and anesthetist, or anesthesia, like clove oil, or like there's various other ones too that you can put in the water when you ship fish that actually slow down everything and kind of I guess tranquilize would probably be the right word, tranquilize them a bit. And I think that between the way a cold-blooded creature works is that their metabolism slows down dependent on heat. So if you put them in, say, a freezer after you've already numbed them and put them into a sleep state, I think that's probably the least painful, most humane way to do it. And I feel like most people don't talk about that either. Or the fact that really you shouldn't be flushing your fish down the toilet after you lose them. A lot of people do that. But that's going to go into your municipal water, and whatever killed your fish is then going to get out into the municipal water. And then, there could be bass or bluegill, for instance, there that are not used to ick. And all of a sudden you've spread ick out into the pond. That's down the road that happens to share drainage water with, even if it is supposed to all be wastewater or sewage water, that stuff does get out. All right, guys. So that is my disclaimer, my rant, my thought for the day. Now the rest of the stream is going to be devoted to y'all. I also wanted to let you know that I have plans. I've been invited to speak in LA. It will be probably July 22nd for the club known as Scape. SCAPE, Scape, like Aquascape. And I will be down there giving a talk on planted aquariums, and it's likely going to be a history of aquascaping and planted aquariums, going back to ancient fountains and gardens, and how that's the first way fish were ever kept. Any sort of husbandry was kept with fish. And then coming all the way up through, recent history and innovations through the Victorian era, and then back to the modern day, which is going to be kind of starting, I guess, in the 1920s, really, with the Dutch movement in aquascaping, which they just called water gardens, and the Dutch style of planting, which is planting in clumps by shape and color and contrast, rather than like in a jungle. Now, hey, welcome from Belgium. Hey, what's going on, Mr. Michael Myers, 1987. Also, hello, a YouTuber, Ali. What's going on? Interesting question. My wife thinks so. Ire, what's going on? Craig, what's up? Nancy B in Tennessee. Hey, good morning from Bangkok. Right on. We got people from all over the place today. Pennsylvania Fish Preacher, what's going on? Good to see you. Figs, welcome. Oscar Jungle Tank, what's going on? I like both those things. Anthony Udovich, hello. Zoltan's Aquatics, all hail Lord Zoltan. Discordia Creates, Sketty Nona, LT, Potter. Who else we got in here? Passing Wind, Jerry Morris, Whitney Chow. Yeah, people calling the tank behind me animal cruelty, yet they're eating fish for dinner. Yeah, I find that also ironic. What's going on? Asya, good to see you. Always a pleasure to see, our familiar faces, our members, our commenters du jour. Ryan, hello. Harry Woodsman, hello. Cody V, hello. Let's see here. Linda Worth, what's up? We got a Silver Creek Silver Creek Aquatics going on in here. Aaron, we've got Luke Wang, who I just talked to on the phone. He gave me the idea for this stream, actually. Johnny from Dan's Fish, Red Foreman. Who else is in here? Jess. Man, we got lots of folks in here already and today, and that's great. Welcome to the party, guys. First live you've caught. Well, welcome, Figs. I'm glad you're here. Hey, and Buttface is here too. Also, guys, I want to thank y'all members on StreamYard. Almost all the members' comments show up, whereas on my phone, I can have all comments show up, obviously, but not always on the computer does it show up. Nano Aquarium guy, what's going on? Hey, JTTR, thank you so much for the super sticker. We're starting off the chat early today. We got a super sticker. I have noticed, and it's no I'm not complaining, guys, I swear, that super chats have been a little more sparse in everybody's chats. Like, I've noticed it too. I've been doing it less too. I think everybody's just feeling the pinch. And also it's summer. People like go out and buy fish, guys. Like, I totally save your money, buy yourself some fish, right? But I do want to say that, those of you, whether it's $1.99 or $4.99, whatever you want to support the channel with, that really does mean a lot. And I will beg for memberships, even though YouTube takes a cut and yada, yada, yada. It is very nice to have that dependable line item on the monthly income. So I want to thank you all again so very much. And holy smokes, we got a new member. So if you are a new member and you want to check out some of the stuff, including over 100 extra episodes that are not available for the rest of the channel, go to the community tab and you can see all the extra fishery videos. You can see all sorts of different things. Giuseppe, what's going on? Welcome. 9214 from Florida. Right on. Night Owl Aquatics. Hello, welcome. Who else do we got in here? WM Jen, what's up? Same first live you've been to. Well, good. We got a bunch of new people here. So we'll have to initiate you guys. Now, I hope everybody got the kit in the mail that I sent them. It's 5-year-old expired brine shrimp eggs, and they have not been kept in cool place or dry place. They've been kept in a wet, warm place And we're all gonna take these and we're gonna just no, we're not gonna do that. Everybody knows that that's not how you incubate brine shrimp eggs, right? I hope everyone knows that. Michael Myers, also a new member. Well, thank you so very much, man. Welcome. Rebecca Elburn, also hello. Say No to War. Bentley Ray, what's up? We got all these new people in here. Where are these people coming from? I love it. The Nano Aquarium guy will be sending my tank pictures for review. Hey, so guys, I have exciting news about that. I have a lot of submissions. You guys have sent me a lot of emails. Let me post that again real quick. So Alexander J, as in Joseph, as in my middle name, Williamson. I don't think I've ever disclosed that before. At gmail.com. All right. So in the chat right now, there will be my email, which is going to be, or there should be. Let's see. Did it go through? It's not showing up on my other phone. Also, Mick is here. What's going on, Mick? We got lots of Europeans in here tonight, and people abroad, overseas, odd and abroad, right? Michelle, what's going on? So, Michelle, the difference between Patreon and a membership on YouTube really is the membership on YouTube lets you see more content in theory, but I found a way around it. And so I have posted in the Patreon, there's a specific playlist you guys have a link to in your private posts that I've done on the Patreon. So you guys still can access those videos. It's just you need the actual link. The general public cannot. They might be able to figure out how to get there if someone's like a super hacker, mind, what do you call it? A sleuth, a detective. But yeah, I can see it, Rye Guy. Ray Aquatics, what's going on? Slossers, hello. Aaron Lowry, hey, another new member. Thank you so kindly. But I was gonna say, yeah, we have, and Alana Balloon, welcome. Love all the new faces. So awesome. You guys rock. Oh, whoa, holy smokes. You guys are so kind. Thank you. Sith Lord says, have a coffee or a soda on me. Well, thank you very kindly. You know, in Seattle, sodas are very expensive. The sugar tax, and then they did a metro tax, and then they did a diabetes and health tax. And so now, if you get a can of soda, it is $2.79 at the store. That's the cheapest you'll see these usually in the city of Seattle. Just right outside the city, it'll be like $1.79 maybe. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Like a 12-pack of soda is like $14 in Seattle now. It's like the same price as beer. All right. And Kent AJDK, holy cow, we got another super sticker with the Danish kroners, I believe. Or is it crowns or kroners? But thank you very, very much, man. And oh, another super sticker. Holy cow, it's raining. You guys, I know I said I wasn't begging, but I'm not gonna lie. You guys are making me happy. It's this month I'm tight on things, so thank you very much. It's not at all expected, but it's very appreciated. Thank you. So, do you guys, as you may know, I put out a call for yeah, that's the other thing is Patreon and PayPal take very little. Evan Nolan has a good point, and welcome, Evan. So some people would rather give that way, especially if they're giving more than a couple bucks. They want to give, 20 or something. Which, guys, you are not obligated. I'm not trying to say that. But yeah, you can go through PayPal or Venmo or Patreon, and they don't take 30%. Now the government's still going to take their 28%, but with YouTube, they take 30% and then the government takes 28% of what's left. But hopefully I can write things off. That's if I'm doing my part as a business owner, right? But anyways, you guys, I asked for an open call for submission because a lot of people had said, I want you to come and evaluate my tank. And what I'm trying to decide to do is if we want to do that on a live stream or if we want to do just short videos where I do maybe 2 or 3 aquascape ones and 2 or 3 troubleshooting ones. Like what's better for people, or you like the live format so that people can interact and be there. Theoretically, I'm streaming sometime between 4 and 5 Tuesday and Friday, LA time or Pacific time, Seattle time. I'm up in Seattle. So there's all that. Also, hey, Amazon Research Center for Ornamental Fish, Dr. Anthony, what is going on? Hey, somebody's gifting out memberships again? Holy smokes. Holy cow. Holy Toledo. Holy bagel. Pile Aquatics, what's going on? You guys are putting me in a good mood. Just the vibe in here tonight is very nice. DS, welcome. And the troubleshooting stream. So needless to say, I got emails. I just I commented, and I'll comment again here with my email. So Alexander J. Williamson at gmail.com. If you guys want to submit stuff, I'll be doing either a live stream with a bunch of them or a few other shorter videos. Just stay tuned. And we will be going over whatever it is you want to go over. So the call was, and I actually have, I think, like 50 submissions. So it's great. And your guys' tanks are incredible. A lot of people have some really nice looking tanks. Some people have some tanks that could use a little bit of work. Or a little bit of redundancy for the safety of the fish. But overall, I am so incredibly impressed by what I've seen. Now, I don't want to roast or grill anybody about their tanks. I want to be constructively critical or suggestive. I want to be suggestive. Go to school naked. How's that for a suggestion? Don't do that if I had to say that. But no. And so hopefully, hopefully we will get through those and it'll be kind of fun. And people can say, I want help with my aquascape. I want to know what it is that would make this more balanced or how I can add more red plants to it. And right now I'm using root tabs and this substrate. Here's 5 pictures, or here's like a 2-minute video and a link to the video, however you want to do it, but so that I can see what's going on in your tank or read about it and then kind of troubleshoot with you. And then I want to start doing those on our streams. I want to, engage with you guys more personally on a live stream. I don't want to lose the tight-knit community that we have when the channel had 10,000 or 20,000 subscribers, and maybe 500 folks are very active and they're on the Facebook group and emailing, and we do the giveaways during live streams and things like that. And I don't want to lose that feeling as the channel is still growing. And I want to thank you guys for helping it grow by watching and by spreading the word. You are doing it. At Fishery, Porque no los dos. What? Why not both? Wait, Fishery, why? So yeah, if you want to get a hold of me today, though, that was the point, is use at Fishery, and that will grab my attention, even if you're not a member. But when you're a member and you are trying to get my attention with the at Fishery, that's when I actually see you on StreamYard lit up and you're highlighted as green, and then I can also see your question. So that's the best way. If you guys need help or have a question about fish keeping or biology or what to do with all your extra lost left socks, or rather what you do with the right sock because the left one is lost, you know, that sort of thing. Uh, I can answer those questions if you at Fishtory. That's the best way to get my attention. And email is the other way you can get a hold of me personally. That is my personal email. And I do spend a 4-hour chunk every morning answering emails, answering comments. And now I just have to set it aside after that. So, guys, I have some changes. I want you guys to also. Oh, hey, Ryan Christie, $1.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Ryan, and welcome. It's good to have you here. I don't know that I recognize your name, at least all that frequently. Born again farm girl, watercolor painting every day. Now, there's a name that's a lot to it. I think the gifted memberships miss me. Yeah, people might have gifted 5 or 10. I don't know who gifted them because YouTube is ridiculous and won't tell me, which is really frustrating. Mel, what's going on? Good to see you. Welcome. JTTR, holy smokes, we got another. Or am I just way behind now? Maybe I'm way behind. How about send you a video of the tank for evaluation? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying you guys should do. Black Helmet, welcome. Also, Brody's Betas, welcome. I guess I'm just behind, guys. Let me try to catch up. Aaron W, there's nothing worse than listening to a YouTuber try to catch up and just answering old questions when those people have like flown in, tried to get their question answered, it didn't get seen, and then they leave, and then you're answering old questions that the new folks aren't gonna, like, they're gonna leave and you're not gonna answer their question on time either. You're a member now, Born Again Farm Girl. Yes, welcome. So whoever gifted those, thank you so incredibly much for that. I really do appreciate that. I don't control that. I did not go to the Findig. Kenny did not go to the Findig. Therefore, my ride did not go to the Findig. But more to the point, I didn't have a lot of money. So I kind of had to, like, I couldn't fly on my own or even afford gas to drive on my own to Sacramento. In my pickup truck, I get about 15 miles to the gallon on the freeway at best. And driving to Sacramento is like 900 miles or something like that, 800 miles. How far is it? Hold on, I want to check real quick. Seattle to Sacramento. I think it's about a 15-hour drive. Yeah, 752 miles. All right. Oh, that's just one way too. So yeah, that's why I didn't make it, unfortunately. But anywhere, if any clubs want me to come out and chat, like the Scape Club down in LA, I will be down in LA for a couple days. They got me a plane ticket. I got to figure out where I'm staying still, and I might just pony up my own money and get a hotel room. I don't know, or I might stay with friends. I have had a couple offers. I just don't like intruding if I can help it sometimes. At Fishtree, but the email won't let me send videos. You can send a link to a video. So the best way, if you want a tank review, or you can tell me, I want you to joke around and roast my tank. I don't care. Or you can say, you know what? I just want some help with knowing what plants I could use. Or, hey, I need some stocking suggestions. These are the fish that are in there now. You know, whatever it is that you need. I just think this will be a fun and visual way, a little bit better than me just reading off of the stream like as it goes. I think this will be more engaging for everybody. Yes, Shamu aquariums. Are you even a fish keeper, a real fish keeper, if you've never accidentally killed a fish? I don't think so. And that's the point I was making was if you're pushing things, if you're trying to learn, if you're learning what gets along and you don't ask questions every single time you try something new, you're going to mess up. You're going to find out, oh, apparently lipstick gobies eat baby endlers or whatever it may be. I've learned that a lot of times. And it's not for the faint of heart to a certain degree. But I don't think that means you have to be cold about it either. Obviously, we want to give our fish a good life. Laura Bustos, hello, welcome. Welcome to the stream. Preston John, hello. There we go. There's a nice use of @fishery during the live stream so I can see the question. How many days do you prefer to stay in an area when giving a club presentation? Ideally, I like to stay the night I present. I like to get there the night before, ideally, and then, or the day before, get situated, wake up, and hopefully, if it's a weekend, a lot of times it's midday or noon, noon to 3 or whatever it may be. Then I'll go give the talk. Then afterwards, usually people want to go to dinner or see something. But, ideally, I like to go for 4 or 5 days total because the first 2 are going to be taken up by that. The third one inevitably is always whoever booked you or your host, they want to do something. But then I like to spend another extra day going collecting. And then the last day is inevitably going to be travel. And if you're anywhere out east, I have to take a plane that's like 5 or 6 hours to get back home. I will be in LA, I believe, July 21st through the 25th or 6th, probably. And hopefully, I want to take some tours of some fish rooms. I was almost debating talking to or trying to get a hold of the president of ZooMed, the owner or the owner of ZooMed rather, and going and seeing up in San Luis Obispo his incredible collection, the aquarium museum he's kind of setting up, because he's posted a few videos now where they're like, we just don't know the background on this info or on this tank or the manufacturer or like what year it's from. And I'm like, I do. I have got a picture. I've got the brochure. So I'd love to go there and just, get some info. If I was there, you would have a place to stay. Well, Dr. Anthony, that's very nice of you. But I'm just going to say, if your house is sitting there empty, you should probably just leave me the key. I promise I won't steal all your discus, and I will leave you sticklebacks. Okay. Laura Bustos says, tons of hydra sprouted in my betta-only tank. Archer the betta won't eat them. Is no planaria safe to use with bettas? Yes, it is. Yeah, it's totally safe to use with bettas. I still dose just a smidge below what they suggest. Also, I hear it's best to dose at night because UV light and daylight, if there's any ambient daylight, is going to degrade the quality of the battle nut that is what basically it's almost like giving a tiny little nicotine or caffeine overdose to the creatures, and then because of that they get dehydrated. So that's the cells essentially dehydrate from the inside out of worms and nematodes and snails. Snails are more resilient to it than the littler stuff, but it still can kill snails. So that is the thing. No planaria. There is a link in the description to the cheapest deal I found on Amazon in the last week, but it's a Japanese product. It's very strong. A lot of people will dose it one day and then they'll dose it another and another because they're waiting for the things to die. It takes a little time. So don't rush it. Just wait. You will see planaria for 2 days probably, and then all of a sudden they'll all die. So yeah, first class fish, what's going on? Nathan Hovey, what's up? Good to see you. Everyone settling in nice for you with the newbies. Yeah. Uh, Sadie just cracked a can of Dr. Pepper. Yeah, cheers. They're not sponsoring me yet, but they should be. Mm-hmm. Rye Guy Outdoors has a great point, which is you can send. Oh, whoops, that's Johnny. What's up? Flubendazole knocks out Hydra in one dose. Also, yeah, that's a good point. Anything that's gonna kill like those soft-bodied creatures, levamisole will usually do it too. It might be a bit overkill, depending. I mean, if you've got them all over your tank, then I understand. They may be stinging your fish and making it very uncomfortable. It probably is alluding to that you either have a very new microbiome and you need to get some diversity in there, whether that be little scuds or seed shrimp or some sort of little microorganisms, having a little bit of decaying matter in there that's not protein or fat based. So like just a little bit of even just like a sprig of lettuce, having a plant that is melting slowly, a leaf or two, I'm talking, not a big chunk. Um, yeah, it is a good way to actually make infusoria, and the infusoria will kind of feed that microbiome as well, especially if you've got natural light on it part of the day. What should I dip shrimp in for the dreaded green fungus? Now, that is Iliobiopsidae, I would guess, by what you're saying. The stuff that attaches to their underside that looks like growth or kelp or something. Unfortunately, it's a hard one. And I don't know that there's a good solution at the moment. But I feel like Rachel O'Leary may have posted some info about it. It might have been one of the last things she posted before kind of taking a personal break. But she was working with the Florida Aquaculture lab, and they have figured out a treatment for it that's somewhat effective. However, what I do when I see Iliobiopsidae is one, I contact wherever I got the shrimp from immediately, and I say, hey, there's your colony's at risk. If you didn't know already, it's not good. However, Iliobiopsidae is kind of a process for each one to catch. It will get it in its gill flukes before it gets it under its carapace or its swimmerets. And so I would say that, you may have more than just the one with it, but if you can get one as soon as you notice that on your shrimp, get that out of your tank. And this is another situation where I'm saying, maybe you need to kill that shrimp. That shrimp isn't going to make it, most likely. Unless somebody here has a recipe for how to cure the sorry guys, I got distracted here I'm reading. Luke says no, use no Planaria in a planted tank, dosed 40%, water change after half an hour, all gone the next day. Yeah, well, there you go. Get a black water tank going and tag Dr. Pepper. Let them know your fish love it too. Yeah, that would, what I wanted to do is have my CO2, we got a 20-pound CO2 tank. I want to make it look like a Dr. Pepper can or 2-liter bottle, and then have an actual tap head on the top of the tank, and then fill it up like draft Dr. Pepper, and then use the other side of the CO2, as the CO2 in the tank. And there is some long, convoluted process where I could submit ideas for being sponsored by Dr. Pepper for like a little league team or community events or a race car. Like there's different categories, but there's not a good just like person to write. I need an in. I need a something in the door. But I would that's a long standing joke inside scoop on the channel is my addiction to it. Um, yeah, Johnny says Dan's Fish says we get random Hydra outbreaks sometimes too. Yeah. I think a lot of people do scuds as well. They're pretty hard to keep away completely. I think the best you hope for is somebody that or some tank that the best that somebody could hope for is a tank that has maybe one or two or three at a given time that you don't really see unless you look really hard all over for them, and they're going to be there, but they just shouldn't be in an overabundance. If you have an overabundance of them, that means they're eating some sort of little microorganism that's in the tank that already proliferated first. So you probably do have at least a duo culture rather than a monoculture, but you probably have a lot of food waste or maybe plant waste in that tank. Maybe that you don't have enough filtration or flow going to clean that out, or it may just be that you overfed for a couple days. And the same thing is true of if your snail population explodes. So just be aware of that. Go and G welcome. Also, Euthan Nath. Oh man, why can't I say that? Euthan Kicks. Hello, Alex. Do you know if UV light kills the beneficial bacteria? So, not in just mild doses. Strong UV light will kill most bacteria. Uh, However, your beneficial bacteria should be living all over the surface area, under shadows, in corners, on things like sponges, plants, in your substrate, any surface area, really. And so you shouldn't lose any substantial amount, even if it's in the sunshine. However, and that's true even with like antibiotics. You're not going to lose your whole cycle usually from most of the antibiotics we use in the hobby, but it could cause the population to drop a little bit. It's just we pick the antibiotics we use. We pick the UV filter that or the UV sterilizer rather that some people use that's to stop green water generally, or even pink or brown water, depending on the type of algae. But yeah. Oh, Nancy B in Tennessee. So you must have gotten them from Aquatic Arts, right on. My Miyuki rice fish, man, they're beautiful. You got with your discount code are breeding like crazy. The discount code must be magical. They try to take extra care of viewers at all the places that I've got kind of affiliate deals with. They want to make a good reflection. Of course, I assume they always do. I like to send secret shoppers also, but these are all places that I mean, I've never had them. I've had people complain about some of the people that I support, but never have I then asked them, well, what did you do? What did they do when you emailed them about it? And they're like, well, I didn't. I was just mad. I've never had them leave. None of whether it's Dan's Fish or it's Aquarium co-op, not that I get any affiliate link from them or anything, but I'm just saying I'm not going to mention a place or a brand if it's done someone dirty in a serious way as a consumer. Now, whether its prices or the things it sells are reasonable or useful, those are all different debates. And I keep the most important stuff in the tab that says all the description. So right now that includes Dan's Fish, Redfish, Bluefish, Aquatic Arts. The wet spot could probably be included in that for rare small nano fish. Things like AQUA CHAR, which is biochar for the aquarium. That kind of stuff that I believe in, that I'm using in lots of my tanks. That's what's going to be in there. Yeah, holy cannoli. I'm getting behind again. I'm 5 minutes behind. I got to catch back up. But Andy Carson, hello. Look at this, Curtis St. Martin. Thank you so very much, Curtis. I hope you're doing well. Long time no see in live chat. Well, it's good to see you, brother. Appreciate it very kindly. Um, all right. So, bruh, you should see my 1 gallon. I can't see the back of the tank. I don't know what that's a reference to, but okay. Um, all right, let's see here. LA has some nice fish stores, but you'd have to pay me to drive 40 minutes to Los Angeles. I'll happily drive 2 hours south to San Diego, Aquatic Warehouse, and Aquarium Fish Depot. Yeah, those I do know that those places are supposed to be pretty good. Um, Rye Guy says I posted an 8,000 video, an 8K video. Holy smokes! And only uploaded it in 720p. Google Photos are able to play them. Right on. Appreciate that. So if you post to me a high definition video or a long video, ideally you're not going to want to have it longer than 3 to 5 minutes max. Really, if it's one tank, it should be about a minute or two. Just tell me, I can see though, but tell me the substrate, tell me, what it is you are hoping to gain from it, or you can type that out, whatever you want to do. Pictures, video, a combo of all that, and I'll share it. Also, what you want me to refer to you as, if it's something different than the name on there. Obviously, I don't need to mention last names and all that. You'll know what tank is yours on live streams in the future as we do some of those. Um, yeah. So Laura was saying that Grant doesn't even have an eliobiopsidae cure. His shrimp haven't ever had the dread green, but some importers said you have to medicate soak snowflake shrimp food and feed in quarantine. Okay. I do need to find out that information from the aquaculture lab that did figure it out. Let's see here. Do, 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 do. I'm getting there, guys. I'm going to get back to the bottom. Should I make a short YouTube clip of my tank for you to watch and evaluate? Or I should? Yeah, sure. JTTR. Well, yeah, that would be great. Let's see here. JD Partridge, do phosphates have a negative effect on cherry shrimp? I haven't been able to successfully breed any. I just found out my phosphates was high. If your phosphates are high, that means that your total dissolved solids, your KH, your GH, all of that may also be high. And it could be that your shrimp are having a hard time because the water's too hard. That could also be incorrect. You could just have high phosphates. Could be that someone up the stream from you is throwing laundry detergent in there. No, I don't know. But needless to say, it's not so much important. Yes, there is a toxicity level of phosphates, but it is dosed and or found in water in lower levels, or should be, unless something's going wrong, than the other constituent elements that I would look at first. So I would look at your KH, your GH, your TDS, and your pH. If those are within the right range, you should be okay, and then I would look towards phosphates. If those are okay and you're looking at phosphates, I guess then we could start to narrow that down more. But first I would try to figure that piece out, because a lot of times the missing element gets blamed in fish keeping. That's not the actual missing element that should be blamed, if that makes sense. Jeff, what's up? Hello. ABS Aquatics, what's going on? All right, let's see here. Getting down to where you guys are. Christy, welcome. So great to see so many new folks. Shady Grady, what's up? Fishery. Okay. Hey, Alex, what's your favorite brine shrimp egg brand? I tried Aquarium Co-op, but I was disappointed compared to San Francisco Bay brand. What's your brand of choice? Yes. So San Francisco Bay brand, I do enjoy, but I usually buy from Brine Shrimp Direct. I get the premium brine shrimp eggs. They're like eight or $9 for a little thing. You can get a bigger one for like I think $20. Um, but they are, I guess, Aquarium or Brine Shrimp Direct brand essentially. And I mean, this will last me in my fish room. I can make up the blender size mixer of these daily for, I don't know, 6 months with that little bottle, 5 months, 4 to 6 months. And that's if I'm doing it every day. All right, let's see here. Jeff Kane is here. Were you the one who was giving away memberships again? Because somebody gave away memberships tonight, and I just wanted to make sure that they know how appreciated they are. And also that all the people in the membership know to go to the community tab and go look back at all the old posts. All the Fishery episodes that have a link in them are now open to you if you're a member, and you can now gain access. If you're on Patreon, you can also support the channel that way, but you'll have to just go to the playlist that's in a post on Patreon that explains how to get there, the secret back doorway. Let's see here. Hello, Sev Sense. What, we got so many members tonight. You are making me so happy. I'm so glad that you're finding value in the channel. You know, there's over 1,000 videos now, and I feel like I've answered a lot of questions. A lot of times my older videos that to me I don't think are very good, or they're just, they're shaky and I'm saying every 2 seconds, and they're not to the point. I was doing it as a home journal basically. I had only a few hundred subscribers for the first year, like maybe 100. And then the second year, maybe I got to, I don't know, 500 or 1,000, somewhere in there. So the fact that some of those videos have the most views of anything, probably just due to time, kind of is unfortunate. I've thought about taking them down, but at the same time, I don't really like taking down anything unless it's just really wrong. Like, and in that case, I'll change the title to "This is Wrong" or like C notes for corrections. And I just sabotage my own video. Let's see here. Night Owl Aquatics. Have you ever dealt with Epistylus? I thought it was ick, but meds and heat isn't working after a week. Everything's worse looking in my new L181, and a Snow White tank is money. Oh man, that's too bad. I don't know anything about it. Dr. Anthony, I believe, is still here. He may know. The Amazon Research Center for Ornamental Fish. He is a ichthyologist, fish biologist, ecologist. Ask him. I'm sorry, though. I don't off the top of my head know about that disease and how to best treat it. I could give you an answer, but it would be a real seat of my pants one, and I don't want to feed you a load of crap. Going G, what's up? I was talking about my infusoria in your snail tank. Yeah, snails and infusoria have a very interesting relationship in that the mucus of bladder snails, ram's horn snails, a lot of our pest snails actually seem to be positively correlated with a lot of the enzymes and proteins that infusoria need to survive. And vice versa, there seems to be the snails do better with it also. And same with the decaying matter. Helanthium, what's going on with Helanthium? What did I miss with Helanthium? Helanthium. Bum, 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 bum. It's my favorite plant. That's not true at all. Helanthium, Helanthium, Helanthium. Let's see here. AKA, change my name to Cow in the Hobby. Cave of Wonders. Cow in the hobby. All right. How about a cow in the lobby? Uh, Night Owl Aquatics is a member now. So awesome. Also, somebody had tricolor Medaka rice fish, which those are beautiful. I visited LAX Aquarium and they had nice coral but massive green Hulk moray eel in a small tank. Made my girlfriend and I super sad. She wanted me to call animal control on them. I think moray eels, they're used to hiding in a tight area. They're like a lot of snakes where if you give them a big area, they may go out and move once in a while, but they don't like need it for the exercise. Like they're gonna 99% of the time be where they are in their den, and they're going to ambush, and they've evolved to be ambush predators. So it's probably not. I doubt the aquarium would put in this day and age that they would do that. Now that being said, it may be some ridiculously small tank. I haven't seen it, so I'm perhaps. Go and G says, I have a 3-gallon tank with only aqua soil and it's completely covered. Only took 3 months. Right on. Christy says, I tried joining Fishcord last night, but wouldn't work, gave up. Fish like Discord, I'm not really on Discord. I mean, I am, but there's no group for me necessarily. There's a couple subgroups under like the Aquarium Guys podcast under Father Fish's channel, I want to say, and maybe under like one or other thing, but I just haven't gotten there yet, and I don't know if I will because of some of their practices and things. And I hate Facebook. Don't get me wrong; their ethics, they suck. But it already exists. It's where a lot of people are on there. A lot of us boomers, us old millennials, that don't know any better, that using the MySpace of our age, still like the Facebook for group sharing photos and sharing events and information. Anthony Udovich says, I bought 7 shrimp for $70. Maybe one lived. 2 weeks later, I bought 7 more. Had 4 2 weeks later, and I bought 7 more. Now I have 100. Should have just waited 6 weeks before adding them. Yeah, that can happen with shrimp. And once you get your parameters dialed in, it can be magical. Let's see. It's a green water screen. Yes, it is. Cave of Wonders. Abstract Aquarius. What do you think of Texas Holy Rock? I've heard it can mess with pH. So I haven't found that it messes with pH too much. It messes with TDS a little bit more. Some Holy Rock can have calcite, can have limestone in it because it is a sedimentary rock formed by layers of sand banding, and then it's metamorphized over time. But that being said, I've never seen it like really throw stuff off crazy like a chunk of limestone would. It's just something to be aware of. That, and it can actually trap quite a bit of off gas from your plants. So there is the potential that like CO2 and oxygen that are in the water are also in that rock for a while afterwards, almost like an air stone or a loofah soaking it up. But do with that info, do with it what you will. All right, let's see. Night people, it's late here. All right, here, Ire, it's good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Have a good one. Matt Batchard, you don't use frozen, too expensive and not good as hatch. Yeah, I use frozen brine shrimp from time to time. Yeah, but not most of the time. Yes, Jeff. Well, thank you anyhow. I always suspect you, so you get all the positive karma points when someone else does it, even though if it's someone else. All right, let's see here. Do I have an affiliate link with the brine shrimp? No, I don't. I want you guys to get the best price, to be honest. So go to Brine Shrimp Direct, and I think you can still use the code. It's either history or secret. I want to say 5, history 5, or secret 5, or history or secret, and they'll give you 5%. I'm trying to remember what the deal was they told me, but it's just 5% that I have if you do want it. I don't get any kickbacks from them or anything. But I just like them. I think they're a good company and very, very fair in their pricing compared to most of what's on the market, and good quality. They have a wide range of products available. It's what every major breeder that I know, where they source their stuff. Uh, well, thank you, Michelle. If you like the older videos, uh, don't take them down. Many times I've had them playing and doing fish maintenance. Okay, all right, you win. You win. I do appreciate it. You got rice fish for $3 today. That is a score. And you got a female scarlet baddis. Right on. Chris Davidson. Those are big. That's big news. What's your opinion about the job of Dr. Kevin Novak, spellbreaker? Well, it's interesting that you say Dr. Kevin Novak, because I've found no evidence that he is a doctor. Now, I challenge him openly, and I have before, and I will again. Please let me know what university you graduated from and what year, or maybe share your thesis with us. If you were a professor of limnology for a time, or if you even studied limnology, that is a very specific science of the way lakes turn over and churn, and the way that the deposition of like lake cores work, and the ecology of lakes, and geography, as well as like water chemical ecological management niches of that. It's usually like, there's a lot of maybe civil engineers, things like that would study that, as well as biologists, maybe some archaeologists, people who are reference people. Now, I don't have a problem with a lot of what Dr. Novak says. I think he has done research. What I do have a problem with is I've gone back and I've looked at emails and things, and I've found that the people saying this is a great his downloadable book and all that, as well as a couple of products. It appears that the guy who wrote the foreword in one of his digital copies of his papers, I believe his name was like Alejandro, or it was something, a Latino name. And I'm trying to remember, but it's fairly unique. It's fairly unusual. And when I went and I looked up that, all I could find was its existence in conjunction with Novak. Also, the people who've written good, glowing things about his book or about his presentation, all the way going back to either the late 90s or early 2000-ish, talking about his work, they seem to be accounts that are all linked, and they don't seem to be around anymore. And I'm not necessarily saying that they're all just him, but I am saying that there is something kind of odd about that. And that I have talked to many professors of ichthyology, limnology, ecology, and tried to figure out what school he could have gone to. I wonder if maybe he has a master's in like biology or ecology. Maybe he has some other degree and he's just been reading a lot about it. But whatever the case is, there's something he's not disclosing fully. And usually he won't talk about that issue. But that being said, I do not think that he is a doctor from what I've found. I am referring to him as Mr. Novak. That doesn't discredit biocenosis or deep under gravel filter and anoxic filtration. That stuff's been known about since the 1920s and 30s, and it's totally valid confirmed by reproducible scientific studies. So is bog filtration for like outside ponds and things. But I think if you look at people like Lucas Bretz and you see that he has a tank with just dirt and a little bit of stone and a little bit of wood, maybe, and a few plants, and the algae that grows on the side, plus the diversity of microflora and fauna that grow in the tank, that is enough beneficial bacteria to host things like mascara barbs, colonies of rainbow fish, guppies. I mean, you name it. The fact that you can filter up and non-water change, or not filter up, cycle up and not use a filter that's electronic or mechanical, and you can use mulm and substrate and thyme and algae and plants, I think that may be what's going on. It may be totally aerobic or air breathing normal bacteria that is in all the hobby that is getting credit for doing a lot of the legwork in Dr. Novak's claims. He has not produced anything that anyone else could reproduce. He's not been detailed in any sort of methodology to a scientific publication, but it is possible that that it is true. I'm not saying it's not, but I just think that's very suspect and that there's some interesting motivation. Now, the guy who also wrote the foreword on the book, his digital book, happens to be a guy who has also had consulting work done for him. He's reviewed him coming to do speaking engagements that I can't find any actual event that ever occurred for, and I can't find anybody else saying the things that about 3 screen names or emails said about Dr. Novak anywhere else. So either he's got a couple friends that really believe in him, or people who are really impressed and they're taking his word for it, or he's reinforcing this myth that he has a PhD. But I don't know why he won't just tell people why what's going on. That's what I'm gonna say about it. But yeah, I mean, if he is a doctor, maybe he's got a PhD from Canada. There is nobody registered in the U.S. with the people. There's actually yeah, Dr. Anthony Mazeral, who does have a PhD, says kind of like Dr. Herbert Axelrod, who has a PhD in business. Yeah, which is fine. You could still call him a doctor, but it's very misleading. And Dr. Novak, as he calls himself, has said, I have a PhD in ichthyology with the specialization in limnology specifically, as well as postgraduate study work. And that is not what I've found, especially with any certified or registered people in that business. Now, I'm not here to start a fight with him. I just find it odd and disconcerting, especially because he's been going on about like COVID and very political issues too in some videos. And so I just think there's some interesting agendas that haven't been fully revealed. And one of the guys, this is the last part, one of the guys who reviewed his books and who pops up time again and again, this name that you see saying kind things, who's supposedly another PhD, that person's never published, never been peer reviewed, never been a peer reviewer. And they also they corroborate everything that the doc has been saying about himself, but there are some patents in the name of that guy that happen to be, and it is a common name, there could be a coincidence, but there have been a few patents about biocenosis basket type technology. It's not being called as such, but I'm curious to know if he's trying to license that system out and therefore he's trying to make money that way. But he also does sell things and does speaking appearances. But admittedly, he's either not very good at making a ton of money off of his claims, or he really doesn't care and he's doing it because he thinks it's being helpful and he doesn't think people will believe him without a PhD. I don't have a PhD. So I think people should just be sincere and truthful about what they're doing. Fishery Lara says, you're getting burnt out looking, mister. Are you getting enough rest? No, I'm not getting enough rest. My allergies have been really bad today, but no, I'm not getting enough rest. I have like 18 different videos I've started working on, trying to get new content out, and then I get sidetracked and I start another script or another filming project. So some new videos will be coming out, but your guess is as good as mine. Which one my heart will pull me towards? Curtis, you remember? I thought you've always been a member, but regardless, irregardless, thank you very, very kindly. All right. Aqua Joy Club. I've met a few doctors in quotes in my life. I felt they wanted to be addressed as doctor. I guess it's one way to make the most of their extended education. Yeah, you know. A limnology specialist wouldn't be an ichthyologist, they would be an ecologist. Sure, you could study fish biology. You need a serious base knowledge of ecology, which honestly is much different. Yeah, no, I agree. Or geology, or hydrology, or, there's so many things, meteorology, even tangentially. Hey, Dr. Anthony, the Amazon Research Center for Ornamental Fishes, who has a great channel. He's an ass, but no, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry, Doc. No, he is a rough gem. He is a gem, though, and he's a very knowledgeable guy who is a real doctor, and he teaches at a very prestigious private university, where the teacher ratio to kids is higher than anywhere in the world. And my wife's walking by. You guys, the illusion's broken. These aren't my real tanks behind me. The tanks actually have had a haircut, which I will show you now. All of which I will gladly show you now. Hold on, now I have to turn this off. But Dr. Anthony, the Amazon Research Center for Ornamental Fish, he and his project are awesome, and I support them fully. I endorse them. And I love what he's doing down there, teaching the locals in the Amazon to actually sustainably keep and use, breed, and sell the. Oh, you guys can't see anything from there. Okay, well, I will. We'll go off grid for a sec, but then I got to go because I got to go pick up a prescription. Speaking of not feeling the best all the time, I got to pick up a prescription. And that's, to be honest, I wonder if Alex sleep on that pillow next to his tanks. I do. I sleep on that hardwood floor, unfortunately. My wife and I need to get a new bed, but I just paid 15 grand to get these lower implants, 10 of them done. So my money all goes to freaking medical bills. That's the problem. But yeah. Hey, the Aquatic Morning Show. What's going on, Jess? Good to see you here. Everybody's been in this stream. This has been a phenomenal stream tonight, guys. Thank you so much. All the support, all the super chats, all the memberships, all the great comments, questions, all my favorite people. Muppet, what's going on? I'm sure people like, Carolyn or Carol, or Mary, all those people I'm sure will be in the replay crew too. So I just, it makes me happy when all y'all that I love are are here and in the future you're watching also. All right, I'm going to enter the studio as Fishery 2, and then we're going to take a look. I chopped back my entire big community tank, and it looks really a lot. The fish are getting along a lot better, and I actually, my pencil fish were so pregnant that I actually had to move them, and I moved them down to a little tank in the other room. Also, I just fed a bunch of worms to my pumpkin seed fish, and he's all fat and sassy. So we're gonna take like 5 or 10 minutes. This is my incredible wife, who is the only reason I can do this channel. Seriously, if she didn't support me with helping with my life and keeping my brain together, not to mention her pulling more weight than I do in everything in life, including bills, I couldn't be here doing YouTube with you guys. So she is the amazing, incredible woman that is responsible for me being able to go for this dream and this passion of having this channel and spending so many hours a week or literally a day on this stuff. And so she gives up her time with me, and she puts her resources towards, for a while I was doing graphic design or a side job working at Trader Joe's, doing murals, doing tattoos, and this. Now I've done more and more of this, and our bills seem to keep going up, but we're at a place now where it almost works. And so yeah, I can't do anything but thank her for all of that. It wouldn't be possible. So you guys owe her a thank you also. All right, guys, let me enter the studio. Sorry if there's feedback. All right. So, hey, Gloria, thank you so very much for the $10 super chat. You are awesome. Thank you. Wait, why is this not? On. No, wrong. There we go. Can you guys hear me? There we go. Okay. So we cut out, let me clean this off too. We cut my life into pieces. No, we cut my tank into pieces. We cleaned out all the stuff. More than 18 inches. Now we got lots of room to move. Now my big angels are free. Rummy Nose Tetras, they're schooling. The Phantom Tetras, they're schooling. Everybody's cooling and schooling. Even the little guys that I didn't know were still in here. The Corys, Corey Feldman and Corey Haim, they're in here. And the new angelfish. There is Betty's new partner in crime. She's hiding, but earlier today she was out and flirting and doing her thing, showing off with Betty White, who is a male. And the female phantom tetras are down there. You know, I've noticed the shrimp are getting awful scarce in this tank. They used to be very, very, very apparent, and now they're kind of missing. Also, the pencilfish, as I said, I stole the pencilfish out of here. Yes, Corydora. The Corydora in this tank. There are 2 Corydora. Now, there's a Pistogrammas in here. The Hong's Loi, and there's 2 of them, a male and a female, that I moved from the other room. And what was interesting was they're down in the bottom and they're making everybody really nervous. So everybody's schooling between the angels and the Epistos, but nobody's actually fighting. The Epistos are just going to chill in this cave, or this cave probably. And then the angels are doing their thing. They're fighting a little bit lately, but all this stuff's going wild. All my purple bamboo is finally going nuts. Over here, this pleco just lives on the glass now. I don't know why. This pleco's 2 years old, and it's a little snowball pleco that I absolutely love, named Spot. And then I actually have 2 of them. They're both named Spot. They're Spot 1 and 2 in there. And then we got more Corydoras. Or I mean Corydora, if Doc Anthony's listening. And all the blue shrimp living in here. They're doing their thing. They're happy. Then we've also got all the little, and this tank is next. It needs a haircut next. But we've got all the little teeny pygmy pencilfish and stuff like that in here. And then we'll show you guys the bluegill. Hey, where is he? Oh, there he is. So, or a pumpkin seed. He's a pumpkin seed. He's a pumpkin seed. He's not a bluegill. Now look at all this crazy pattern. So there's been some algae growing on the glass since I've gotten this guy, since I made my last video. But look at, you can see the nearite snail, his little buck teeth doing the scraping. You can actually see the dentition on him scraping and leaving this kind of gnarly pattern all over of 2 little teeth. And this guy he's happy because I've been feeding him worms. So he's good. He's unheated. He's got an air stone. The filter hasn't been going. He didn't like the filters. They made him very nervous, and he hid in the corner. As soon as I turned the filter off, he was much happier with just the air stone. So yeah, and I think he does need a lady friend, Jeff. I agree. Over here, this tank, I think we're getting a little bit too much light in this tank. I left it on all night the other night, and this is the blue Malawa tank. But you can see right now there aren't that many blue ones hanging out in the front. But there's also up here, there's the half beaks are in this tank as well. Here, come forward. Half beak, the Tenga half beaks and the golden wrestling half beaks. Then we got my Lucanusis in here. Don't know why they're so freaking shy. And then over here, of course, we've got this thing. I can't lie, I'm really proud of it. Although now I'm a little concerned. I see 1 Planaria in it. But this is the no filter $12 light and $80 from Aquatic Arts with their shrimp kit. $88. They send you 15 adult shrimp to start with. And look at all the babies. This is my 3rd round of babies. Each round of babies, I've kept few of my favorite colored adults. And we've got more pregnant females in here right now. I use Brightwell soil. I use distilled water from Walgreens. So literally something everyone could replicate. And it came with the moss. It came with food. But I have been feeding them shrimp envy food, honestly. But most of the time they just eat algae. And they're in here. They're happy. They're doing their thing. And they're in a 2.5 gallon, non-filtered. The light, like I said, is from Home Depot or Lowe's, one of those places. And that also provides a little bit of warmth. But look at all the babies that are in here right now. There's so many babies. And I also wait until the little critters build up on the glass. So like right here, this is a tank where I have my ostracods growing out. There are some seed shrimp in there, or some scuds in there that I don't want in there. There's also, like you can see right here, whoops, right there in the water spot, that is the a little cyclops. Also, in the quarantine tank where I've got my guppies, we've got the two bettas that got beat up while spawning. This one, whose tail was all but missing, it has grown back, but there is a big white scar tissue blob on it. And this one's eye, I think, is going to be permanently bulged out. It was this $3 male that did the damage, by the way. So it wasn't any of my pretty koi, the big ones that everyone saw in the community tank when I had 7 living together. No. It was when they all went one-on-one and they had these babies, which there's a whole 2.5 gallon tank full of babies here. So at least we got babies out of it, but the female did get real beat up on. Over here, we got the white cloud minnows. They're doing great. These are the gold or yellow Hong Kong longfin. Guys, I got to get out of here because I got to make it to the pharmacy in time. But also, I'll just give you a sneak shot of this tank over here. It's doing great. These guys are spawning. We've got lots of babies in here. We've got the Rhabdocentris, which I need to get in their own tank to spawn them out. But we've got more spawning going on up top with the bubble nests of these honey gouramis. And you can actually see the baby honey gouramis once in a while. Like right over here, there's a couple right there. They're getting bigger. They're getting yellow. So there's at least 6 or 7 babies that survived completely living in that chaos. Then we've got over here, we've got some normal wild Malawa. We've got the rice fish, some platinum/blue crosses. And then we've also got in here some ruby tetras are in here somewhere. And also so are these the freshwater little bumblebee gobies. Oh, there's the ruby tetras. They're up there. They're my little barometers. They tell me how the water conditions are, if it's acidic enough, and so forth and so on. Anyways, so that's that. What else is going on? Oh, the pregnant pencil fish. She's right here, and the male is with her. And there's a bunch of moss in there, and it's a shallow, unheated, because this room's warm right now, container. Pulley loach. We got these Borneo loaches. And look at the gouramis are still colored up like they're going to spawn, which is wild. That one back there is so blue and red. I mean, it is wild to see the colors, but I need to get the thread fins and the luminatus off on their own. Same with these wild bettas. They're doing their thing. Getting big. Sean. And then we've also got the drape fin barbs that have their own tank. Actually, they're with some elosoma too. But the elosoma are down in here. And never the two shall meet, really. There's just some shrimp. And by the way, completely heaterless, filterless, and it shares a light. Tangerine tiger tank, doing phenomenally. They've had babies in there. The babies are still super itty bitty tiny, but I'll be doing an update on that. Love these drape fin barbs. So yeah, that's what's going on, guys. Thank you so much for coming out and supporting the channel, for watching all my other content. It does make a huge difference during you know, this time of year too, summer. If you guys want to come out and support the channel, watch the old videos, give me ideas for videos, whatever it may be, have your say with how the channel's going. It means the world to me. Again, if you want to submit your tanks during the next few live streams, one of them will tackle that, but I don't know which one for sure. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to call it a night because I need to get going now. But thank you and have a wonderful evening. Much love to you and your tanks. Thanks for everything. Don't kill a ton of fish, but kill a few, you know, in the process of learning. That's the theme or the spirit of tonight. But much love, everybody. Thank you for all the new people who joined and all of the new members too. You guys rock, and I will talk to you later. Bye.